Alright, guys, I'm back with another chapter in Joshua. We're in Joshua chapter 16, where the header reads, "The land given to Ephraim and West Manasseh." As you can see, I'm still blessed with the opportunity to stay here a little bit longer today here at Athens. I am getting ready for another board meeting here shortly. I'm going to do this Bible study, and then I'm going to go hit the gym real quick, move some weights. Had kind of a frustrating day, a disappointing day, things that did not go to my liking, and doing my best to try and serve and love people. Sometimes those feelings, I feel them a little bit more than I'd like. I guess I'll say that. So, in sharing that with you guys, I'm super happy to be having this fellowship with you today, and I'm going to jump right into Joshua chapter 16. Here we go. This one's a short one, short and sweet today. There's only 10 verses, so we'll see if there's anything to reflect on after we read. The allotment for the descendants of Joseph extended from the Jordan River near Jericho, east of the springs of Jericho, through the wilderness and into the hill country of Bethel. From Bethel, that is Luz, it ran over to Adaroth in the territory of the Arkites. Then it descended westward to the territory of the Japhletites, as far as lower Beth Horon, then to Gezer, and over the Mediterranean Sea. This was the homeland allocated to the families of Joseph's sons, Manasseh and Ephraim. The following territory was given to the clans of the tribe of Ephraim. The boundary of their homeland began at Adaroth Adar in the east. From there it ran to upper Beth Horon, then on to the Mediterranean Sea. From Mikmethoth on the north, the boundary curved eastward past Tanath Shiloh to the east of Genoa. These guys are some tough names. From Genoa, it turned southward to Adaroth and Narah, touched Jericho, and ended at the Jordan River. From Tapua, the boundary extended westward, following the Cana ravine to the Mediterranean Sea. This is the homeland allocated to the clans of the tribe of Ephraim. In addition, some towns with their surrounding villages in the territory allocated to the half-tribe of Manasseh were set aside for the tribe of Ephraim. They did not drive the Canaanites out of Gezer. However, so the people of Gezer live as slaves among the people of Ephraim to this day. And that's the end of chapter 16, guys. Like I said, short and sweet. One thing I want to reflect on, and I'm curious about how the map was broken up. I'd probably have to see a map as it was carved out and parceled off to each tribe. I'm curious to see if where on their borders they were located, if they were chosen because of who bordered them that were not Israelites. You know, because obviously previously to this that we read, I think I forget what the previous tribe was that was located still next to what an area that bordered Egypt. Was the size and the strength of the tribe taken into consideration when their borders would align what would be threatening other threatening nations? Smaller tribes like Ephraim and Manasseh, I would assume, would be inner tribes that would be bordered by larger Israelite tribes, simply because of their, maybe, I don't want to say inability, because God has shown to support them and reach his hand to guide and really go forward in driving out any unwanted enemy bodies, whatever they were, fighting forces or just rival nations, whatever it might be. So I don't want to say that they're too small to defend themselves, but in moving forward, too small to cover the land outside of which they were, outside of what was inherited to them. So I'm curious to see how this would be broken down, and I'd probably have to Google how really what the nation is being, how it's being divided up now, what that looks like on a map, because not only would that be important, but who surrounds those outlying borders would be just as important, recognizing that they would either be extreme rivals, or what we saw, it's acceptable to them to be able to create treaties. We know that because one of the nations that was actually internal to the land that they're inheriting was sneakily misrepresented themselves as a neighboring nation, and they were willing to accept them as man, I'm so short on words today, as allies. And so, in moving forward with that, I assume that there were still tactical reasons why certain tribes got certain parcels of land, not only based on the size of what they had to maintain, based on the size of the tribe that they were, but location of that based on who would be surrounding and who would be considered ally or foe. And so, what really isn't, it's super interesting because in my mind, and I believe that that's how these passages are reading, God had already had that parceled out, like with that expectation. And so I just think it's more evidence to show just how omnipotent he really is in knowing the extent and the reach of his expectation along with his timeline. And so I know that this was a shorter passage, and I'll go ahead and stop with that, but just thinking about these simple things just creates God to be even larger than I even understand him to be when I'm reading simple passages like this. So I just figured I'd share that. On that note, have a good night. God bless. I love you. Jesus loves you. And I'll be back for chapter 17 of Joshua, where the header reads, the land given to West Manasseh. And so, have a good night. God bless. Like I said, I love you. Jesus loves you. And I'll see you tomorrow for chapter 17 of Joshua. Have a good night, guys.